Welcome to the Market Moonlord, where we merge the matrix with the stars. I'm your host, Jason Alexander, and today we're going to look at our normal stocks. But we're going to be focused on AMC, of course, because it is earnings week. But this week is also a new moon. So this is a great week for potential moves all over the market. So we're going to go over AMC first, or we'll run through everything real quick. And then at the end, we'll go over AMC's chart along with its actual stars, right? Like we always do when there's a news week and that sort of thing, right? But overall, I would say on this last full moon, we had a lot of full moon pops, which is great. We had one on AMC, we had one on the SPY, we had one on Tesla. We didn't get one on DJT. We definitely had one on BB, and Tesla had a little one. Let's see, DJT is due for one. Didn't have any type of pop on that full moon. So and it's at a very low point right now. So I'm thinking on this next full moon we could get something very interesting on DJT. But overall, what I would like to say, it kind of looks like we had a little bit of a pop on the full moon, but we didn't have a run on this phase, right? So it popped on a full moon, but didn't continue running on the phase, which is fine. And that tells me that we're kind of waiting on this new moon, which is on Friday. And then it's almost like a kind of like a reset into the new moon phase. And that's better because the moon is growing, more optimism, more people are more likely to want to add to the resistance during a waxing period, psychologically speaking, and all that good stuff. All right. We know why this works. We don't need to explain that. So Tesla is a pretty decent example right here. We have the little pop, and now we're maintaining above that full moon pop, or we could say the full moon bottom, if you want to call that. And then I would imagine, coming into this week, we were kind of consolidate, maybe small little dips into the next new moon, but maintaining the low of basically 320, right? So I don't see us going underneath that, but anywhere near 320. 325 I would say would be like a nice little buy zone for Tesla. It's definitely oversold. It's been selling, due for a change of trend, and I would say this new moon week might be a great week to kind of nibble on some positions, and then expect an upside coming into the following week after the new moon on Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We could definitely see more upside. So I do think there's an opportunity to add to some positions at these current levels with the timing of the how we had a small pop into the full moon, but that a whole run. So I'm hoping and anticipating a run on this waxing period. If you guys are keeping up, it means you're paying attention. Okay, so same thing with GameStop. They're all pretty much doing the same thing. Okay, so I had a pop, a little bit of a dip, and we're waiting on this new moon, which is on Friday. So let's go ahead and really focus on AMI here. So AMI is kind of telling a different story than most of the other stocks. You can see clearly that it's above the Bollinger Bands, or the middle Bollinger Bands, the upper side of it. BB is its own little beast right now. We've been following that. That is above the Bollinger Bands too. So what I'm saying about BB can definitely apply to AMI here. But that's showing a lot of strength, right? So it had the full moon pop, and it kind of maintained some of those levels. Right here, we see the full moon pop went all the way to 350 that day. So I would imagine if we could start earnings above that 350 mark, that's really good. However, what I'm thinking psychologically speaking, AMC, there's a lot of shares to borrow and all that kind of thing. I think they want to drop us. Okay, I think it's the typical move they make during these type of things. We potentially get a drop, fall underneath the Bollinger Bands, maybe coming into the earnings or after earnings, and then we get some more upside on that new moon on Friday, leading into a push for Monday and a growing period waxing wise. Okay, so let me know if that makes sense to you all. So I'm thinking, I'm playing a psychological game here. They're going to drop us on the earnings, either the day before really low, and then maybe we get a really good earnings call and we start going up, or we continue dipping, waiting for Friday new moon, and then coming into Monday, we could definitely see a change of trend and upside. So my play, I definitely would be playing weekly. So I'll be playing 2 weeks out, get some of that full moon energy, maybe 3 weeks out. Anticipate potential droppage and being able to add to your position, plenty of time to add to your position this week. I don't think it's just gonna take off on Monday, but hey, if it does, great. That would be kind of early as far as we want to see the moves 3 days before the new moon potentially start happening. But the real push would happen after the new moon, which would kind of be on Monday because Friday is kind of the end of the week. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to look at AMC stars and maybe get a better idea of what type of moves we can see. Okay, so as you can see, I do have Tuesday up the 25th for earnings. We're looking at 4 p.m. Okay, so we have a lot of Pisces energy. Okay, and you guys know I'm a Pisces. We got a new moon in Pisces coming up. Let's go. And we have a eclipse in Pisces 2 days before my birthday on the 14th, which we all know that eclipses are definitely marks of major trend changes in the stock market, especially with the moon phase candidates like AMC. We've seen that many times. So I think March, just for that reason, the initiation of eclipse season is going to be interesting. But looking at February 25th for earnings, the first thing I always look at is what's happening with Mercury. And Mercury has a Mercury square Mercury. Now, that's okay with me because we've seen many times when Mercury gets energy on AMC's Mercury, we see a lot of big moves. This is newsworthy energy, 0 degrees square, okay? So there's a little bit of friction with AMC on this day, a lot of communication with AMC on this day. And I'm very curious on, what type of energy we get with the square to Saturn at the same time, okay? So typically speaking, we would almost say that this would be like harsh reality type news. Saturn deals with reality, Mercury deals with information, but at the same time this could be also a milestone energy because Saturn deals with karma and the things we've been trying to put in structure and formation, and then we could see milestones and almost like a leveling up with Saturn energy at the same time. So Saturn can be tricky, but looking further at Saturn, we have a Saturn trine Saturn with a Saturn square Mercury. So that kind of tells me that there could be something positive and negative at the same time. And I won't be surprised if some of the information has to do with them letting go of certain aspects of the company, whether it's buildings or certain entities they have going on with the company. Maybe they're letting some things go and then also adding some things at the same time. But overall, I will definitely say this is very heavy energy for some big time news. Okay, and then we still have the Pluto on AMC's ascendant. We have the moon in the first house, sextile Uranus. That's pretty explosive like energy. We have a shit ton of Pisces energy. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets in Pisces. That's good for the movie industry. I won't be surprised there's some good announcements as far as like new creative projects or new exciting movies that we're going to find out about. And then we have a decent amount of Uranus energy, which represents explosions and pioneering to the future. So we could see some innovative type energy with that as well. Mars trying that Saturn and conjunct that Jupiter. So yeah, I would say that this is a very heated chart for a lot of energy. So that is a interesting earnings day and week, honestly, with all that. So I do want to take a look at AMC's full moon or new moon, which is on Friday. We'll get to the exact position here. Okay, so we're looking at 9 p.m. on Thursday. Actually, will be the new moon Eastern time. Okay, cool. Okay, that's good. That's good. So we get Thursday energy for the new moon. So Friday we should definitely feel some of that. So I do like that. Friday morning will be kind of like the first day that we receive the new moon energy with the stock markets. It looks like we have a trine moon, so new moon trine AMC's moon, which is very positive, and it's also making a sextile to AMC's Pluto, which is all about transformations, especially since that Pluto is in Capricorn, more transformations with the structures and whatnot. Not a Pisces energy. Wow. New moon in Pisces. So yeah, I really like the idea of this new moon in Pisces having a lot to do with some innovation and creative ideas with AMC, along with some new movie news coming out, some interesting movies that may be getting released or announced, that sort of thing. Okay, so I want to tell you guys we do have some major eclipse happening in March, starting eclipse season. The first one will be March 14th. So that's going to be an interesting time where we're going to really pay attention to what's happening with the stock. Let's say, for example, we get bad news. We get bad news on earnings, and we kind of get some droppage. I would imagine it's going to stop around the middle of March and get that turnaround around that eclipse. The ones that have been with me for a long time, you guys know how the eclipse goes. Almost every single time we get a change, a trend reverse. But anyway, I'm going to leave it with that. I'm Jason Alexander, the Blue and the Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. If you're looking for DD on ABC, you cannot get anywhere else. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you want to show me some support, go ahead and hit the like button. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching. Until next time, peace.